Bionicle. While not as great as Galid I, it was a LEGO series that still had many redeeming... Okay, I'll stop. I'm your host, RR Slugger, and I have a confession to make. I'm a Bionicle fan too. I know it's basically become a running gag on my channel to poke fun at Bionicle's expense, but please know it does come from a place of appreciation. I have a long history and distinct fondness for the theme, or at least a fair chunk of it. Let me elaborate. When LEGO's mysterious new theme was released to us in 2001, you'd better believe my friends and I were excited. We tried to collect the new figures from McDonald's, traded them all around on the playground, and when the sets finally hit store shelves, we were all over them. We had the Toa, we had the Taraga, we had the cards, we had the game, we had the CD-ROMs. Bionicle was a big deal, and to this day, when new folks come over to the Slugger residence, they still often remark, "Oh wow, you have Bionicles?" amid all the other LEGO around them. In 2002, the Bow Rock represented a brand new threat to the island of Matanui and introduced a compelling new way to knock a Toa's mask off. The frightening mind control power of the Krana was an ingenious way to incorporate the mask motif into these new toys. The Bow-Rock Va were pulling double duty, not only featuring the before-mentioned Krana, but also serving as a perfect way to reuse the leg molds from the McDonald's promo figures that started it all. It was around this time that Bionicle pieces started to creep their way into system sets. From a designer's perspective, I get it. Bionicle was an intensely mold-heavy theme that required vast amounts of new tooling every year. There had to be a way to get more mileage from these molds, and reusing them in system sets seemed to be the answer. From a builder's perspective, though, I found this solution to be unsatisfying. Bionicle pieces just look like Bionicle pieces to me, and I never felt their integration into system was convincing, despite how widespread it became. Even though Bionicle would prove to be the financial savior LEGO needed at the time, ironically it came at the cost of making LEGO worse. That's just one slug's opinion, though. Through the years, Bionicle would evolve. The Toa Nuva, while sporting some pretty weird masks, did give us new shiny armor pieces to play around with. I never really liked how the Toa Nuva seemed to do away with all of the individuality of the original designs, like Leiwa's slender shoulders or more intricate hand, for example. Now every Toa had the same boring cup joint hand, and much of their uniqueness was lost. Sadly, this is a trend that would continue far into the future of the franchise. I know the original Toa, later dubbed Toa Mata, are often looked down upon by the Bionicle community in favor of more posable successors, but in my opinion, the original 6 had subtleties to their design that were never truly recaptured. Not to mention that the mask design and implementation would only go downhill from here. What the slug even is this? In 2003, we would receive the Rockshi, and more importantly, Bionicles can have knees? I can't understate how much of a big deal this was. This year, everything was building towards the reveal of the 7th Toa. I entered the sweepstakes like any sensible kid would. Bionicle the Mask of Light was an event. The sets that released along with the movie were some of the best designs Bionicle had ever seen. For fans of the series, this was the Avengers Endgame of its era. And just like with its Marvel equivalent, Bionicle the Mask of Light also served as the perfect exit point from the series. Sure, the idea that our intrepid heroes were not the first Toa was enticing at first, but the mystery and atmosphere that held the franchise together evaporated in the city skylines of Metru Nui. Knees were accompanied by elbows on this new island, but overall, the Toa design was as carbon copy as it could be, save for the new colors. Mask collecting was dropped in favor of disc collecting, which felt like a massive step backwards for the series. Add to that the loss of any tangible villain, and my interest in the story Bionicle was trying to tell plummeted. I'd still get the odd set once in a while, many of which were really great, but the magic kindled in those first 3 years would never grace Bionicle again. Eventually, I drifted out of LEGO altogether, checking in every now and then to see what blasphemy had befallen my beloved characters. The LEGO Group finally put a bullet in Bionicle's head, just a little too late to stop Bionicle Stars from happening. And just like that, the landmark LEGO theme went out with a whimper. And then something called CCBS happened. I don't know what that is. I don't want to know what that is. There were Bionicles again, then there weren't Bionicles again, and now it's 2021. The 90th anniversary of the LEGO Group is just on the horizon, so they hold an internet poll where fans can vote for what classic theme they feel should receive a brand new set in 2022. And the results are substantially in favor of Bionicle. Afterwards, the LEGO Group hosts another poll where the top 3 of the previous vote, plus Castle, conglomerated under one roof, would compete again for the top spot. This time, the results would not be made public, and any one of the 4 could be chosen for the honor. If you've been following LEGO news for the past year or so, then you probably already know that Bionicle walked away as the big loser from this whole ordeal. 2022 brought us a failed Bricklink designer project and a small nod in the 90 years of play. So far, 2023 has brought us another gift with purchase locked behind a ridiculous paywall. This time, only specific LEGO themes count towards meeting the threshold. Wow. Since FOMO 2 Blacktron Boogaloo came out, I've spoken to some folks in the know about all this. Apparently, the Forest Hideout promotion did so well for the company that we should expect GWP exclusives to become a major part of the LEGO Group's business strategy going forward. Internally, acquiring these sets has also been made more difficult in a new mandate for LEGO Store employees. Tahu and Takua here are only the beginning. While I consider myself ancillary to the online Bionicle community, even I feel somewhat slighted by the LEGO Group in all this. Bionicle won a landslide victory in the public poll and surely performed well in the second round, though again, those results were not shared. In the end, Castle fans received both the Lion Knight's Castle and the Forest Hideout. Classic Space fans received the Galaxy Explorer and the Blacktron Invader. Pirates fans had just previously received one of the greatest love letters to their theme the year prior, and Bionicle fans received a glorified Mixel and googly-eyed Tahu. To the fanbase's credit though, it went over pretty well. Maybe they've already gone through the 5 stages of grief, or maybe they're genuinely excited for these paltry offerings. I'm just surprised no pitchforks were involved, though I will say, you got me there. Perhaps I have a cynical perspective on all this, but I don't think it's wrong to be skeptical of the decisions made by a billion-dollar company. We aren't owed anything by the LEGO Group, don't get me wrong, but I can't help but feel that Bionicle wasn't treated with the same respect shown to these other evergreen themes. I'm not expecting the LEGO Group to go out and create a bunch of new ball joint molds in order to give us 6 new Toa or anything, but I think Bionicle deserved something more substantial for being such a landmark LEGO theme with a strong community. And that's my history with Bionicle. While not as great as Galidor, it was a LEGO series that had many redeeming qualities. Anyways, I'd love to know your personal history with Bionicle and how you feel the theme has been treated in recent years. Please let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've been your host, RR Slugger, and I'll see you next time for another video.